Now, hundreds of African migrants have entered Spain's northern African enclave of Ceuta by crossing a border fence separating the enclave from Morocco. The migrants climbed over the 6-meter barbed wire fence. Dozens of them got wounded in the process. The Red Cross is treating the migrants at its center there and has dispatched 5 ambulances to help. Spain's 2 enclaves in Morocco, Ceuta and Melilla, are often used as entry points into Europe for African migrants. They either climb over their border fences or try to swim along the coast. In January, around 1,100 migrants tried to cross into Ceuta, although most were eventually turned away.
Mother, I can tell you today that I have made it to Spain. Look at me, Mother. I am in Spain.
Well, let's bring you more on this now. We're joined live by CGTN's Dan Williams from Madrid in Spain. Dan, of course, we know that this is a 6-meter barbed fence and that authorities do all they can to stop refugees from crossing through. So far, what has been the reaction from the Spanish government?
Yes, as you can imagine, it's been met with a very serious concern here. This is a fence that costs some tens of millions of euros to build. It's policed by the Guardia Civil, some 500 or 600 officers at both Melilla and Ceuta. So a huge amount of investment has gone in order to protect this border. But of course, as we've seen, this is just the latest in a number of breaches of this fence over the last few months or so. Certainly the Secretary of State for Security is holding an emergency meeting here in Spain to discuss the matter, to work out the various options ahead, of course, and whether more personnel is needed or more resources of another kind in order to add reinforcements to the operation down there. But I was just in Melilla recently, and it's very difficult to see what the authorities can really do there. There's a huge amount of cooperation between the Moroccan and the Spanish forces in order to try and do whatever they can in order to try and keep the migrants out. But I saw firsthand how the different instruments that are used by migrants on this almost mass way of, almost like a military way of trying to storm the fence. 400, 500, we saw 1,100 on New Year's Day, and certainly a huge concern as to whether this is going to continue going into the future. But what I saw is that within a minute or so, these fences that line these enclaves are breached almost effortlessly using these different instruments across from various different means. So yeah, certainly huge concern here in Spain.
And it's certainly clear that it's very hard indeed to cross the actual fence, but some might argue life gets even tougher once you're on the other side. You've seen all of this firsthand. Just tell us what's likely to happen to these migrants now that they've made it across the fence.
Well, certainly they face an uncertain future still even now. The migrants come from all over Africa, from North Africa through to sub-Saharan Africa. Those that I spoke to in Melilla at the refugee centre, which is where they're taken in both Ceuta and Melilla, they're at the migration centre. They are processed, they are given a roof, they are given food, but of course still face this uncertain future. They are not part of the Schengen zone in Europe, so they are not given full access to the rest of Europe. It's by no means certain that they will. They obviously have to fill out various papers. Some are returned back to their country of origin. Others are given papers, while others sit in these various migration centres for many, many months. And I met in Melilla a number that had left the migration centre and were sleeping rough in the land nearby. So, as I say, by just reaching these enclaves is by no means a passport to the wider European Union or indeed the rest of Spain. So, as I say, very much an uncertain future still for those that were celebrating in those earlier pictures.
Indeed. Well, thank you so much for that, Dan Williams, joining us from Madrid in Spain.